He's Tass. It's the Metzger Tassoul Show.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hey. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
It's great.
So while the producers are getting everything ready to go, how's biz? How's the month treating you? You got a potential of getting a huge influx of summer specials.
We do. Yeah, I think we're in. Well, I know we're in 7 elementary schools right now, and I think we'll be in 10 by the end of the week, which should be a great opportunity, right? So
Could be.
And we got some other stuff we're doing as well, so it'll be exciting. I think a lot of people get nervous and worried about summer because traditionally it's one of the times that schools lose the most amount of students, but we all forget it's one of those times you can actually enroll a lot of students as well, just because routines change. And so we're looking at getting in front of these people and have their routine be martial arts for the summertime.
Right. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, that'll be good.
The topic today hopefully will be an eye opener for a lot of people. And this first came up a couple months ago, if you remember, in one of my schools, because I think that people in general get so programmed to do steps A, B, C, D, E, F, and you say, well, what is the point of going through all the steps? Well, I need to get to Z. Well, why don't you just go from A to Z then?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I hope that this what is this called, by the way? The show? What is this called?
Yeah, sure. This broadcast.
This broadcast will
syndicated program.
Yes. Whatever this is, I hope that it will make things easier for people, make them work a little more efficiently, make them work smarter, not harder. We all love these little sayings, right? Work smarter, not harder. I work smarter, not harder. But no, you don't. You just memorize that little phrase and it makes sense to you, but we don't do it, right?
Right.
The M&T Noon Show.
Oh,
that's what it is.
There you go.
Well, it's the M&T 1 o'clock show for me.
Oh, yeah. The Noon Central show.
That's right.
Hey, listen, so my son was over yesterday, and when he was leaving, I walked out with him, and he was getting in his truck, and he had a Tony Robbins CD, one of my old Power Talk CDs. I said, dude, you listen to it? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, that's the CD player, and then I've got Gary V always picks up. He goes on my Bluetooth, he said, and he goes, here's one from Gary V today. He said, a lot of you guys know how to point the finger. You need to start learning how to point the thumb. And he goes, I just thought it was really good. So, you versus me. What's the problem? Once you point the thumb back at yourself and you understand that you're the challenge, then you can start to move forward and you can start to succeed. So, at 17 years old, it's pretty interesting. I told him, I said, dude, I've got hundreds more of those CDs. So if you want to listen to them, you just let me know.
Your son doesn't realize, maybe he does. He doesn't realize the head start that he has by listening to all these audios, right? That's what I did. I wasn't 17 when I started. I was more like 21 when all I did. But as Zig Ziglar would say, everybody likes to point the finger. It's the pandemic. It's the economy. It's the community. It's my area. It's this. But Zig Ziglar says, you got one finger pointing out, but 3 are pointing back at you.
Yep.
Right. But as I said, this is a show that I hope will help you all work a little smarter and more
efficient. For those that didn't get that, see, here's the 1 and here's the 1, 2, 3 pointing back at you, just to make sure clear.
Please don't insult our audience. That's, I mean, now
I just said it because I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Now they're leaving in droves. I mean, you're insulting the intelligence of our audience. Let me remind you, we're talking to the martial arts industry.
Right. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
I know you guys know everything. I forgot.
Look, we just lost 12 viewers
It's all right.
like that because you're insulted.
They realized that 3 fingers are pointing back to them. And they went to go get busy and start doing stuff.
That's right. They said, you know what, that makes sense. I'm out. But anyway, here's the thing that I want to stress today for everybody. If you want to grow your business, whatever business you may be in, you know what? I think I want to wait until we get back up to our 42 viewers.
Okay, perfect.
So let's just take a minute.
All right. Hey, on a good positive note, I got my watch back today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
No problems?
Nope. They said everything's good. And the tech there has been there for 40 years. I said, well, here's the thing. What happens if there's a problem 6 months or 12 months from now? He goes, he goes, number one, if it was my watch, I'd put it on today. He goes, I'm that confident everything's fine. And he said, and it's going to be the same today as it would be 12 months from now if it needs to get repaired or whatever. So he said, you're fine.
Okay. That's good, man.
Yeah.
That was a little stressful for you.
It was.
All right. So here it is, guys. We're talking about, do you work from the bottom up or do you work from the top down? And that's in everything that you do. Even as a martial arts instructor, when you're teaching on the mat, or a business owner, or as a martial arts professional who may not be a business owner, but you're trying to excel in your career in the martial arts, right? And what I mean by that is, here's a tip for everybody, and you got to be conscious of it, because when I say it, I think you're gonna think that you do it, but you got to really remove yourself and be honest with yourself. Number one, let's just talk about the mat for a second, right? Here's our curriculum, and we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. But you got to stop and say, well, why is this my curriculum, or why am I teaching these techniques? Why? And the answer cannot be, well, because that's the curriculum. If that's your answer, you got to then say, well, why is it the curriculum? What was the purpose of this curriculum? To get what out of this curriculum? What am I trying to do? Is it to get my students in shape? Is it to teach them self-defense? Is it to relieve? What is the point, right? When you think about the end goal, your brain will start to think of more efficient ways to get to that end goal. And I said this on the last show. I think we teach in our industry as a whole, a lot of us still teach memorization, because you have to memorize this pattern, this drill, this combo, this form, this curriculum. Got to memorize it, and then we're going to test you to see if you memorized it. And then we're all happy when somebody memorized the combination or the form or the techniques in a specific order, that we forget that it's not even applicable. They got the pattern right, but it's not accomplishing what it is that we do it in the first, why we do it in the first place, right? That's a mat example. Do you want to clarify or clear that up a bit? And we're going to talk about the business.
Yeah. I think, and I don't remember who to give credit to for this. Like, I've heard, the triple D method, which is demonstrate, drill and detail. I've heard the Decker DECR, demonstrate, explain, correct, and repetition, right? But in both of those examples, it's demonstrate, right? So if you're an instructor and you're on the floor and you're just trying to get people to do a technique, but they don't have a visual of what it's supposed to look like when it's done, they have a hard time getting to that level. So, and this might seem normal, but if you go out, I always tell my instructors, look, your students are going to do 50% of what you do. So if you want a really deep horse stance, you have to go deeper than what you would normally do, because they're only going to do half of what you do. But you have to set the example. In some cases, I'm not doing 540s and 720s anymore. Like, it's not happening, right? So I'll call up one of my black belts that knows how to do that and have them show what it looks like, because it's the whole saying, begin with the end in mind. What is the purpose? What are we trying to accomplish? And this is what it's supposed to look like when it's done, right? That's an example, but there has to be application to it as well. But that's an example. And too often we're missing the demonstrate part. So they really don't have a clear picture. It's like, hey, I need you to get from here to New York, right? You're going to Tampa. I need you to get from here to Tampa. and do it without a GPS or without a map or whatever else. You're just like, okay, well, I know it's north, but I don't know exactly which way to go. It's going to be way harder than having a map and a plan on how to get there. That curriculum can be the map or the plan. The outcome is you want to get to Tampa, but there's a lot of ways to get there. You can take your car, you can take the train, you can take the plane, you can, I mean, whatever you want to do. So how are you getting there, number one? And what does it look like, when it's done? And that's I think a big thing for people is, yes, we focus so much on checklists. I believe are important. Steps are important for people that struggle with knowing what to do. But sometimes, like, and you've said this, you get too focused on the individual steps that we forget, well, what is the outcome that we're after? Is it more power? Is it more speed? What is it? And that's an example on the floor of looking from the top down.
So here's an example on the business side, everybody. Everybody right now, you know what? As a matter of fact, if you can, I'm just curious. If you are going to be marketing a summer special for your martial arts school, can you put in the chat box, what is your summer special?
Right.
I'd like to see the differences of what your summer specials are. And then I'm going to give you a tip to make things more effective for you to grow your business. But let me see what your summer specials are for those of you who are launching one. And by the way, I'll give you a quick tip. Everybody should have a summer special, right?
And what it shouldn't be is the same special that you do all year, 4 weeks for 49, 6 weeks for 69. And the reason is you can do those specials anytime throughout the course of the year, but there's only one time a year that you can do a summer special. So we're big on, disguising marketing with the season. So just as we're waiting for answers. Okay.
All right. So let's take a look. Some of you, if you can put it up there. 8 weeks for 149 includes a uniform. 8 weeks for 149. Mr. Walls, train all summer for $69. 8 weeks for 199 includes a uniform and a private lesson. And Mr. Walls is now pivoting to 149. Mr. Johnson's doing 30 summer days for $39. It ends 6/30/2023.
Which is that's interesting,
right?
And the reason I say that's interesting.
Keep putting in your summer specials, everybody. Like, what are your summer specials?
Mr. Conca or Concha, you got earlier you put 8 weeks for 149, a free uniform. And I remember struggling with this when I was a client. Like, we would say, well, this is our summer space, train all summer for X dollars. And there was no timeline to it, right? I'm like, but my summer's 12 weeks. And so we would try and get people to sign up by June 1st or June 7th or whatever it was. That's when our summer started. But the reality was someone that paid $149 for the entire summer on June 5th got a way better deal than somebody who signed up on July 31st, as an example. So by having a timed trial in this case, the great thing about this is, and then what we did, we learned this, right? Because then years ago we would say, well, summer's half over, our summer special's half off, right? And so we would do that deal. So there was kind of this in-between thing. But when you have a time trial of 8 weeks in this example, so by the way, you're telling us what it is, 8 weeks in a uniform. From a marketing perspective, really like train all summer for X dollars includes 8 weeks of training or 6 or 10 or whatever you want to do, and a uniform for X dollars, right? And whatever you want to put in there for a price point is fine. But it defines the time. So if you started marketing that, like for us, schools out the first week in June, well, I know we've got flyers are already out in the schools. They'll probably be going out today and maybe even start of next week. We literally could have somebody come in next week, mid or end of May 25th, whatever it is, and sign up for a summer special. They will get 8 weeks from May 25th. They'll get 8 weeks. But it doesn't mean we're going to stop on June 30th, Mr. Conch, in this case. By the way, do I believe it's important to have a call to action with a deadline? 100%. And that may be what that is for you, just to get people to take action. But you certainly can market this into July and even into August, because if someone comes in July 15th, they'll simply get 8 weeks from July 15th. And that's the benefit of doing a time trial.
Right. Now, I'd like to ask you this question while we're talking. Why are you doing a summer special? What is the point of marketing a summer special? Can anybody respond on what is the reason that all of you are doing a summer special? What's the point, right? I'd like to see what your answers are. But going back to what Tassoul said, right? You want to keep the time thing, because if maybe you're not marketing aggressively enough, right? And you don't want to put a deadline on yourself, so you can market that into July. The other thing that you could do is if you do get in the middle of July, you could disguise the marketing by doing summer's half over. We're doing half off our summer special. So instead of $149, it's $75 for 4 weeks in a uniform, right? We can tweak it to keep it disguised, our marketing disguised, so it doesn't get stale, our marketing.
And I think that's too. I just want to make sure people don't get caught up in the price point. Like, oh man, that guy's doing $199. I should do $199. I make way more doing that than $79. Look, it's all relative, and why I say it's relative is, there's a couple different spins, which I'm not going to go through, but there's a couple different spins on that summer special. Mr. Costa, you can see here, he's got a 1 o'clock only class. It's $49. He's got the nighttime classes at $149. But look, if your nighttime classes, if you've got a lot of space in your nighttime classes for beginner students, it's not about the $149, the $199. You could do this for $99. You could do it for $79. You pick a price point. Well, I'm just going to say it. You might want to go there because the goal and the mission, right, that we're doing this for is to pick up a quantity of students. It's not about quality of revenue right now. It's about filling the mats with students or prospects or trials right now so that we can get more people to come in with a lower price point and then be able to convert those people to students. That's really what the mission is. It's not about the revenue.
The only reason you are marketing a summer special is to get people in your building, and we do not want to fill our mats with trials. You can't survive on trials. Your goal is to get new students, right? So if your goal is to get new students, let me give you some tips. Number one, do not post your summer special in your school, because if it's posted in your school, every prospect that walks in your door, somebody who's been dying to join martial arts, will now not join martial arts. They will enroll on a trial. They're going to see this trial and they're going to do the trial. I always use the restaurant analogy. If you go out to dinner tonight and I was going to say in the newspaper, back in the day when I went to restaurants, there was clippings.
You used to place the tiny classified ads from your 1-bedroom apartment.
That's right, Don. But if a restaurant had a coupon out there, here's a real life example. I took my mom to breakfast this morning. I called my wife and I said, "Hey, I'm going to breakfast this morning." She goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Nuno's." She goes, "Oh, I left a coupon on your pile. Did you take it?" I said, "No, I didn't, but I'm already halfway there, so I'm not coming back for the coupon," right? Well, the coupon, let's just pretend the coupon is buy one adult breakfast, get the second adult breakfast half off or free or whatever, right? Do you think when I walked into Nuno's this morning and we ordered food, the waitress or the owner came over to me and says, "Hey guys, just want to let you know, it's buy one adult, get one free"? No one does that. I have to say, by the way, I have this coupon, when I get the bill, and oh yeah, great, we'll apply it at the register, right? Same thing with your summer special. If people are walking in your door, get them enrolled, right? That's number one. Don't just say, "We have a great summer special right now. You could just try it for 8 weeks." We're not doing that. You're telling me you want to enroll in martial arts. You're interested. You love what you saw. You took a class. I want to get enrolled, and I want to enroll you. So I'm going to get you enrolled. Now, and I know what some of you are thinking, well, what are they going to do when they leave and they see that there was a summer special out there? It's very simple. Sure, the summer special was $149 just to try us out, and then you'd have to enroll. I just saved you $149 in theory. Whatever we do to convert these specials is a different story, but why would you pay $149 to try us, Mrs. Johnson, when you already knew you wanted to do martial arts? And they'll say, "Yeah, that's true." That's number one. Number two, here's the other mistake. You're going to get people. What did Wall say? I can't believe you forgot the coupon. I know. But my martial arts schools are successful, so I can afford to forget the coupon, right? Which is options in life. I could have turned around. But here's the deal. If you enroll a bunch of people on a trial special and you wait for their trial to be over and then you try to enroll them, you are going to fail compared to following a system to getting them enrolled. If they're doing an 8-week trial, you got to get them enrolled in the third week. How many weeks does somebody need to do before they decide if they enjoy martial arts or not? Most of the time it's a class. I want to do this, or a 2-week trial, right? At the end of the day, most people are not coming into your martial arts school to get information because they're not interested in martial arts. They're yours to lose, right? That's why we got to be on our A game. That's why we have to have exceptional customer service. That's why we have to have high quality martial arts instruction. That's why we got to understand how to build rapport with our customers. It doesn't take 8 weeks to decide if this is what you want to do. So in the third week, if they decide, you know what, we're not sure yet, we want to just continue and wait till the end, that's fine. But now I have knowledge. At the end of the day, those 3 fingers pointing back at you, what they just told you was, I'm not seeing enough value to make my decision today. That's what they're telling you. That's it. Now, for those of you who are arguing saying, well, no, they're not saying that. They just know that when school starts, they're going to be busy and they may have sports. Well, that means those sports might have more value than what you're offering. We don't want that. We got to show them tremendous value to where we get them enrolled. But if they don't enroll, I still have 5 weeks left to up my game and work on even providing even more value and rapport and following up with them in 2 or 3 weeks. If you wait till the end of the 8 weeks and they say, you know what, it was great, we want to think about it, they're done coming into your building. You cannot show any more value than what you've shown. So now you're just going to be picking up the phone, basically saying, did you decide? Did you think about it? Did you want to enroll? We'd love to have you. I mean, you cannot do that. Why is this important and what's the whole concept? Are you working from the top down? Or are you working from the bottom up? The bottom up is, well, I was taught that I got to do a trial special. What's the trial? 4 weeks. Okay, they do 4 weeks. Now I got to go for the enrollment. You're forgetting. We want the enrollment. Why are we waiting until the end of the 4 weeks or the 8 weeks or whatever weeks? Get the enrollment as soon as possible. You just need to have a system to do that. Go ahead, Tass.
So let me address Mr. Johnson's question. How are you, sir? Do you offer a separate type of program or class for trials, or have them join the basic beginner class? Let me answer that part of the question first. The answer is, you can do whatever you want. We're doing both, and specifically this time of year, the summer special, low price point. Because a lot of people, I'm just going to call it out. A lot of you call up your social media company. You're like, hey, put an ad spend out for our summer special. And they push the button. And that's what you want to get back. Well, putting out $149 or $199 summer special online is not going to get you nearly the amount of people or leads in your school as a lower price point of $49. That's just a fact. The lower price point is going to get you more traction, get you more people coming in, right? So we do have class times that are during our off prime time hours, so not between 4 and 8, but earlier, that we're doing this lower price point for, right? And then if they want to do the evening classes for just X dollars for the entire summer, they can have access to our evening program because maybe they work and they just can't get there, or whatever the reason is. But let me answer this last part, and I'm going to go back to Metzger's example about the restaurant. So if you do that, how do you differentiate what current students receive at a potentially higher price point? Well, here's the deal. Metzger went in today or yesterday, whatever it was, with his mom, had breakfast, right? I guarantee you, if you would have brought the coupon for half off the second adult entree, she's not getting a different breakfast. Like, oh, well, they have the coupon, so you're only going to get 1 egg and half the hash browns and half the. it's the same breakfast, right? So we teach the same thing. We don't change what we do, right? If a beginner learns X and the trial comes in, they're a beginner, they're learning that same material. So they will at some, this is why it's a trial. It's a trial of our program, which is our normal program. And what will happen is if they continue, they continue, and then they're going to continue to learn more things as they move on and progress up the ranks. So there is no difference in the material that they're learning. I hope that makes sense.
And ultimately, you guys understand people follow people. So ultimately, if you can have people in the classes with other people that have already made a commitment to be in martial arts. And by the way, here's part of it. Let me give you a golden nugget here. What did I call this the other day? A pro tip?
A pro tip.
Yeah, a pro tip. As
he's getting all situated. He's getting all
I gotta get
to deliver.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the other thing we don't think about, right? You get somebody on a trial. I got to kick the feet up for this one, Tass. I got to get comfortable. Okay.
All right, we'll wait. We'll wait.
Thanks, Tass. You get people in on a trial. Are you thinking about the end game? Not the fact that you want to get them enrolled, right? But what is going to make their experience the best experience possible, right? You're going to maybe instinctively say, well, we're going to teach a great class. We're going to make sure that I give this student, some attention and this, that, and the other. Anytime we have a new student join a class, we will do a partner drill. Anytime I have a trial, a buddy day, we will do partner drills. We will say, if you don't know each other, shake hands, introduce yourselves. For those of you who are nervous, fist bump and introduce yourself, right? And I want them to make friends with people in the class. The other mistake is if you do that, you keep that partner the entire class. We don't do that. Change up partners. If you don't know each other, fist bump, shake hands, introduce yourself. Okay, you guys are going to help each other, right? I want them to try to find someone they may relate with, and the more partner switching I can do, and it's not like every 30 seconds, right? But you might switch 2 or 3 times in a 45-minute class or something, right? But you want them to develop a rapport with other students that are already committed to your program. The other thing that I will tell you, just on this topic, we just had Mother's Day. I'd like to know, did any of you do a Mother's Day class, or did any of you have the moms come out with their kids on the mat? Put it in the chat box. I'd just like to know if you've done that. Have a Mother's Day class, or have the moms get on the mat with their kids and do some drills. Because I'm going to give you another pro tip by Michael Metzger.
Well, as they're typing that in, look, I don't want to like flash of the obvious, but you said, hey, you introduce yourself. Like, you got to remember, parents aren't bringing your kids to you to learn spin hook kicks. And I always say, look, a jump spin hook kick, the best jump spin hook kick in the world, doesn't do anything on your resume, right? Doesn't do really anything for you in life. But knowing how to shake someone's hand, knowing how to shake someone's hand, look them in the eyes, how to make a proper handshake so you're not just grabbing the end of the fingers, but it's going web to web. You add 10% of the energy that they give you, like using their name. There's a big opportunity for a life skill in there as well. So I don't want that to be overlooked. And remember, parents are bringing their kids for the life skills. Kids are there for the fun, but you can do both of those things in class. So I'm ready for your next pro tip.
Okay, here's the pro tip. So look, I see Miss Nixon here. We had moms on the floor with kids. Mr. Bull, no, yes, 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 no. First of all, it's a missed opportunity, right? Anytime you can get non-students, I don't care if it's a mother, a sister, a brother, a grandparent, doesn't matter. Anytime you can get people on your mat, the higher chance you have of getting a new student. But here's the pro tip. When the moms come out on the mat, if you do that and you have them work with their child for 10, 15 minutes, and then you have them sit down, you missed an opportunity. So what we'll do is we'll have the moms, in theory, this is the way it should be. The moms will come out. And by the way, you can do this for Father's Day next month. You do this for Father's Day. The moms will come out on the mat with their kids and do a drill with their kids, because we want to build a rapport between the parent and the child in a martial arts setting. Okay, I want you to make sure you understand that. It's not about building a rapport like a parent should have a rapport with their kid, but in a martial arts setting, know how to hold the pad, know how to praise them the right way, encourage the child. But the pro tip is then what you do is you say, okay, now we're going to do something. I need all the moms to partner up with another mom. Introduce yourself if you don't know each other, and we're going to have a little contest, moms versus kids or dads versus kids. Why am I doing that? And then, by the way, I will have them switch and find another mom to partner up with. Why? Number one, I want them to get experience to see what it's like working with another adult on what it would be like being in our adult class, number one. Number two, I want the parents to build a rapport with some of the other parents. So when they're bringing their kid to class and they're just sitting there on their phone the whole time, or they're not engaged, or it's a chore, I would rather that parent have a friend there to where they have a little social hour, after work, where they have some friends they're just talking to when they bring their kids to class, and a little bit of a rapport if they're not joining. Number three, I want the parents or the dads, the sibling, whoever it is on the mat, to get just a little bit of a workout, very little bit, something that they'll all be able to do, but realize, man, I could be in better shape than I am, right? And then you got to follow up. Moms, before I dismiss you back to your seats, it's Mother's Day. You guys did a great job today. Kids, give your moms a round of applause. Moms, on behalf of Mother's Day, we're going to give you a rose or a carnation or whatever. We gave flowers out. Plus, we gave a pen. I didn't even realize we gave pens out until one of the servers at the club, who's a parent, said, "Did you see the nice pen I got?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know that."
That's to sign the contract.
That's exactly right. Did they also give out the contracts to all the moms too?
Yeah.
But anyway, what we do is we will tell the parents, the moms, for example, if you are interested in just trying the adult class, you guys worked with some of the other moms today, you see how much fun it can be, you see how you can get a workout, get healthier. We'll talk to you. If you're interested, we're going to give you all free uniforms if you just commit to trying it for 1 month free. 1 month free. Is it worth a $15 uniform to get adults on my floor for a month? Well, it is to us, right? So again, why do we have the moms come on the mat? Well, we do that because we think it helps with retention a little. But ultimately, I want to try to get new students. I want to try to get the moms enrolled. And I know if I get the mom enrolled, I know retention automatically increases now when I have the mom and the son or the mom and the daughter training, right? So you try that with Father's Day. But we get so caught up in the task of, well, I was told, hey, this is a great idea. Father's Day, get the fathers on the mat. Well, why? One reason, really. The primary reason is because I hope that they like it and they join. But they're not going to do that unless you understand that's why we're doing it, right?
Yeah. Well, and we talk about the 5 profit centers, right? New students, upgrades, retention, retail, special events, and more importantly is, integrated sales, right? And integrating those profit centers. So if you got caught up in checking it off your list to do a Mother's Day workout as an example, and your idea was we're going to do it for retention, well, that's great. It's a retention event for those people because in most cases, you can't have everyone come to that event because now if you've got 100 students and you've got 20 moms with 20 kids, that's 40 people on your mat. Unless you just did it all week long, however you did it, but it can't be, it's sometimes not a retention event for everybody is my point. But the more that we can integrate our thought process with, hey, what else can I do with these guys, right? Can I get them as a new student? Can it be a retention event and a recruiting event? Yeah, and with the more that we can hit integrating the 5 profit centers, right, the better that we're going to do and the more successful that we're going to be, with our program. So there's always look at what are my options, what are my possibilities to do with this particular program. Can Mother's Day and Father's Day just be a retention event? Absolutely. But I don't think you're missing the boat if you don't say at the end of the class, kids, did you guys have fun with your moms? Give them a break. How many of you guys want to see your moms train with you? And you're going to see the kids' hands go up. Parents, moms, look at this. We'd love for you guys just to try it out. And someone's going to go, yeah, that was pretty fun. I'd like to do that. And you just because you just asked, right? And if nobody signs up, there's no harm, no foul, then it just becomes a retention event. But why wouldn't you take the opportunity to maximize your results and maximize your success? And that's really what our goal is not to have you guys be good, but it's to be the best and to maximize everything that you do. And by the way, not by nickel and diming people, but by giving people simple options as to what they want to do. Notice he didn't say, by the way, if you want to enroll today, it's 4 weeks for $49, but it's going to be $25. It's free for a month. We'll give you a free uniform. You just try it out and see if you like it. Right. So
yeah, don't get caught up. Hey, when we asked about what the summer specials are, we saw everything, I think, from $49 to $199. Don't get caught up in that price point.
Right.
If you could donate 100% of that money back to a business that's putting these out for you, or the flyers, or a school, or a church, or whatever, I'll donate 100% of that back. How much does it cost you to have people come in and take the classes you're already teaching, right? The cost of a uniform, if you're given a uniform. What's the point? The only point of marketing, the only point of any marketing is not to sell anybody on anything. It's to get people in your door. Once they're in your door, then you got to sell them, but sell them by the values and the benefits of whatever it is you're doing. Not sell them like you're trying to do a hard sell. It's exposing people to the benefits and values of martial arts training, so the customer then says, this is great. I need to do this. I mean, just get them in the door, but don't get caught up on, I can't believe he's only charging $49. I can't believe he's charging $199. Irrelevant. I don't care what it is. Just get people on your mat. And then you have to have a good system to get them to see the values to convert.
Years ago, I was at my school and these two gals walked in and they had this spa package, and it was whatever, hair thing and a facial of this and that. And, you want to, someone that you want to buy it for, it's got a value of X, whatever it was, $500, but it's $99 if you want to buy it. Oh my God, that's pretty interesting. I had zero interest in the spa package. I said, do you guys work for that spa? I'm like, well, yeah. I said, well, no, let me ask you, are you employees of that spa, or are you a marketing company for that spa? They're like, well, no, we're a marketing company. I said, listen, I just want to be transparent and candid. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you guys keep the $99, or does that go back to the spa? Well, no, we keep that. So let me get this straight. The spa is sending you guys out. The way you guys make money is selling the retail package of the spa for a very heavily discounted price. You get that. I said, and then what's in it for the spa is, and at the time, you couldn't do more than one treatment in one day. So they got you coming for this one day, for this another day. It's the spa's responsibility then to get you as a paying ongoing customer. I said, listen, would you have any interest in doing this for the martial arts school? I'll put a trial out. You guys can sell it for whatever you want. Because I've said this to clients, and there's people that, if I said, look, if I delivered 50, if you're a kid's school, it doesn't matter if you're adult school, so 50 kids or 50 adults, I delivered them to your school, said, here's 50 people. They're committed to train for 4 weeks. All you need to do is give every one of them a uniform, and your cost is $15, $20. And I'm blown away by the number of people that say, God, no, I wouldn't do that. I'd lose so much money on uniforms. And I'm going, it's mind blowing to me, because I also know what I pay per lead just to get a name, number, and email in online marketing. $15 or $20 for a uniform is a steal to get somebody in your doors and on your floor, right? And so I think that's kind of the concept to remember is, what can you do just to get people in your door and experience it? Because I know if I ask the question, if you have 10 people that come into your school and take an introductory lesson, how many of those people do you enroll? And everyone on here is going to say 80 to 90%. That's just what everybody says, whether that's true or not. Right now, if some of you have been doing a lot of marketing, a lot of social stuff, and doing the stuff that's out of the norm and casting a wider net, of course, you may tell me your enrollment percentages are low. But old school, we got caught up in this 80% number. Why? Because we had phone book marketing and signage, and there wasn't any there. And what's that?
Mailers
and
coupon
mailers.
corner.
There wasn't a lot of ways to cast necessarily a wide net at that time. So when somebody picked up the phone and called or they walked in, you knew that they had a good chance of becoming a student because they were the ones that were reaching out to you, as opposed to us shoving this in front of their face on social media and giving them an ethical bribe to put their name and email in. So of course it's going to be a little bit different. But if that's the case, I mean, I just kind of wrap your head around that mindset. And that's exactly what we're doing with the school system, by the way, is we're donating a portion of the proceeds back to the school system.
We have 2 questions.
Oh my God.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, listen, yeah.
Griffin MMA. First, listen, when you sign them up as a regular student or give a family discount, I think you're talking about the moms for Mother's Day. It just depends on whether or not you have a family plan or not, right? I mean, it just depends. So I'm not going to answer that because everybody's different. Some people like to give discounts for second family members. We don't. Some people give discounts for thirds or whatever, but just depends, whatever it is. And then Peter Johnson, good old Valpak. I think all of us in the martial arts industry knew Valpak, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I negotiated with Valpak. They would come in, break down the percentages. I said, here's the deal. If you're that confident, what kind of return should I?
Hold on, freeze. You and I, dude, it's so funny. The more we have conversations, the more I realize we're cut from the same cloth. Did you tell them that you would pay them per person that came in as opposed to paying them the money? Because that's what I did with Valpak.
No, what I did was I said, what percent of people should I see call? And I said, we track all our numbers. And I showed them, here's our stats. We keep it, right? I said, and they said, whatever percent, I don't remember, like X percent. So I said, that should be 80 phone calls, 80 people that inquire, whatever it was. I said, here's the deal. Run it free. If I even get half that, I will sign a contract to do this every month for the next year. If I get half that. And the lady was like, well, I don't know. I said, well, call your boss. You guys are coming in here spewing these percentages of what I can expect. I only want half that. By the way, I got it for free. I did not get half that. I did not get half that. You know what they based that on? Valpak and stuff was worked really well for like pizza places, right? And restaurants that worked really well for that. Never really worked well for the martial arts industry. I knew that, but these people would come in my school every freaking month. So finally, I just said, here's the deal. What's the deal? What should I expect? And that's what I did. And did you get them to do it for you for free and just pay based on the person?
Well, the first thing I did is negotiate and said, well, look, I'll pay you $50 per enrollment I get, which is going to be way more than what I'm going to pay for your ad, right? And they're like, well, no, we can't do that. And same thing. I was like, you guys, well, you're one breath, you're guaranteeing me the results. I'm telling you, I'll pay you $50 per enrollment that you bring me. And so if we're going to do what you say, you're going to make way more money on that deal. Well, they didn't do that, but I did get them to run it. And then if we didn't hit the number, so mine was backwards. If we didn't hit the number, then they would run it for free until we did hit that number. So that's what happened on my end. Yeah.
And look at Mr. Walls. I just did Valpak. First of all, Mr. Walls, I didn't even know Valpak was still around.
Still around. Yeah, there's about 4 coupons that come in the envelope now. So he'll have great exposure.
Hey, by the way, Mr. Walls, because I didn't even know they existed today, I just don't see it in Orlando. But it may work well for you since it's not flooded with other martial arts schools and stuff or any other your competition. I don't know. I don't know the area, but see what happens. But listen, here's another pro tip. Mr. Walls, this is for you and everybody else. What do you think it means when you hear everything is negotiable? What is excluded from everything? I mean, everything is negotiable. If you go to the car dealership today and they run your credit and they say, oh, great news, you qualify for 3.99%. Everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable. When you go to the bank and you get a business line of credit and they say, here's the rate.
True.
Everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable, including Valpak. So just remember to negotiate all the time on everything.
Right on. Yeah, it's a big, and there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, right? But you know, and I've watched you do it, right? And Chris actually made a comment about being somewhere with you and just watching you go through the process of negotiating. She's like, man, it's just something to sit back. I said, well, was he asking a lot of questions? She goes, yeah. I said, you knew that lesson a long time ago. It's always about asking questions, ask questions, and don't ever feel bad about it. If you can turn it into a conversation, right? It makes things a lot easier. And I've heard Mets say, look, I just got to ask. I mean, is that the best price he can do? Like I've heard him say those things, right? And there's nothing wrong with asking. I just got to ask. Is it the best you can do? So if I go over here and that's the best you can do, okay. There's nothing wrong. There's no harm in asking. Mr. Walls, he said, yes, just negotiate right out of that deal. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. I think you're already committed to the Valpak, but what I would do, I'm hoping, I'm cheering for you, I'm rooting for you that you get results.
He might.
Right? But if you don't, it would warrant a conversation with them saying, hey, look, this is what you guys said would happen. It didn't happen. Here's my stats to track. What can you guys do moving forward to make this right? Because we didn't get nearly the response. If that happens, if you get a bigger response, well, then run it again, right? You can certainly do that.
That's it. I mean, if you're doing, that's what I told them. I said, look, why would I not do it with you if it's working? Why would I not? But here's the other mistake that we make. Keep the end game in mind. Do not, listen to me. This is important to understand. You know those three fingers pointing back at you, right? If you're going to spend money to market and you get all giddy, and not you, Mr. Walls, the industry, and you get all giddy and excited because you're getting leads galore, so you keep feeding money to that marketing, but you just don't have systems to convert, it's a failure.
Yeah.
It's a failure. The marketing agency is doing their job, but those three fingers, right? You don't have systems in place to capitalize on those leads. And then everybody has arguments, right? How many times have we heard this? Well, I'm not going to do a summer special for $49 because we get crappy leads. I'll do summer specials for free because I believe that we are that good at showing value to our program. And I tell everybody this, the 99% of the people that walk into your martial arts school can afford your classes. They can afford it. They may not be able to afford it based on everything else they're affording outside of there. Do you show enough value to where they say, I got to figure out how to pay for this, but not the Starbucks every morning, or not the Nike shoes that I get every 2 months, or whatever it is where they're spending money because they can't afford to do all of it. Something's got to sacrifice. Unless you could provide unbelievable value and show them that value, they will tell you they can't afford it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's priorities, right?
That's it.
Priorities.
So, any other questions from anybody today on this beautiful, wonderful Thursday afternoon?
Oh, man.
Don't laugh. Don't.
Yeah, it's funny. You're heading to Tampa tomorrow, is that right?
Going to Tampa. Chris Rodriguez with Grow Pro Agency is having an event, and I'm going to be hanging out and speaking over there in Tampa. And I'm looking forward to it.
Very nice.
Because she's going to feed me Texas de Brazil.
Oh, there you go.
So
that's a good trade.
Yeah.
That's a good trade for her.
Well, it is all you can eat.
That's right. It is. You know, I remember the first time I went there was at an elite event, and they're explaining the green and the red, you know, green if you want more, red if you don't. Well, every time I've been back to one of those Brazilian steakhouse, I don't know that they've ever even used the red and green thing anymore. It's just, they just keep coming and they just keep asking, do you want more? Do you want more? Do you want more? Yeah, they're dangerous. But I do find they have the best.
Are my arms looking big or something, or does Perry have a filter on?
He's got the Popeye filter on you. Yeah,
filter. I got you.
The Popeye filter.
Yeah, I told him to put it on. I wasn't sure if he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not eating now. I'm not eating again until tomorrow night.
Good. At least you got that going for you, dude. You're going to be in the conference room. You're going to be doing push-ups and making sure that they stay tight.
Right. Perry, my dumbbells, please. Anyway.
Oh, that's great.
Guys, industry, we love the martial arts industry. It's who we are to our core. We love you guys. We want to see everybody succeed. Sign up for MayaCon if you haven't already. We doing okay on MayaCon, Miss Connor? Yeah. Thank you, Miss Connor. So she's a little shy. Anyway, it's great to see everybody. Thanks for joining. If you need anything, reach out. We're here for you.
Right on. And next week, Metzger will wear his size medium shirt, so his arms pop even more.
Oh, okay. We are 6 attendees shy of 400 people coming to the event. 6 shy. So who's going to take those 6 spots? Miss Connor, who's going to take those 6 spots? Is it anyone on here?
This is how you lead from the top down, everybody. Just pull a knife and ask your staff questions.
Miss Connor, you're going to talk to me. So help me God, you're going to talk to me.
Oh my God, dude.
Fair, because she has a knife too.
Okay. All right. Good.
Anyway, thank you guys.
Appreciate everybody.
We'll talk to everyone soon.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.